Hello everyone and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you guys are having a good start of the week. First of all, thank you very much for the support in my video on Sunday. I think we're approaching 2,000 views and something like 116 likes. And for you to have an idea, the like to dislike ratio, at least the last time that I checked, was something like 98%. So really thank you, for putting the effort either to share the video, like the video, comment. As you guys know, I always try to reply to all of you. And if I don't, it's because sometimes I don't get notifications of you, particularly when you reply to so for example, if you send a first comment, I reply and then you reply on top of it. Many times I don't get notifications for it. And then I will check for it, a couple of days later. And that's why sometimes you see a bit of a delay in my answers. Now, let's go quickly to the markets. You see the Russell 2000 keeps on the pace of outperformance. This is something that we've predicted very uniquely here in the channel. One of the things that Harry Dent was saying that the reason why we're going to have a stock market crash is because the Russell 2000 still didn't make new all-time highs. And I said in the video, yeah, wait for it. And you'll start seeing Russell outperforming, particularly as interest rates come down. And the reason is the Russell 2000 is the equivalent of shitcoins, if you will, on the crypto space. And it's the closest to the real U.S. economy, and that is the segment of which is more vulnerable to high interest rates. Today there was something very interesting in I think Elon Musk retweeted it, and it was basically that this year $1.14 trillion will be paid in interest at current interest rates, because a lot of the debt has already been refinanced. And as I've said this here in the channel, I don't know for how long, you guys must be completely tired of listening to this. The problem of the national debt in the US and the overall debt in the US is a mathematical problem. It's not a Democrat or Republican problem or an independent problem or a Secret Service problem or whatever you want to call it. It's a mathematical problem. That means that this year, 76% of the income tax will go to pay interest on the debt. So for all my fellow Americans living in the US, or for any people living in the US, for that matter, paying taxes in the US, rest assured that 3/4 of the taxes you paid last year, as in terms of income tax, will go to pay interest on the debt that was used to finance other countries' wars, and bail out people and businesses in exchange for re-election. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, when you see you paying your taxes, don't forget that 3/4 of it is to pay for the lavish lifestyle of the politicians and their optimum and great decision making. Obviously, I'm being fastidious. Obviously, it's a waste of money. And obviously, the interest rates will need to come to close to zero, or as I predicted in this channel since 2023, that before 2030 you'll see negative interest rates in the US. Now, I'm not making fun of the Americans. I would say study your options. There are countries in the world where you don't pay tax or you pay very little tax. You have countries which incentivize you to move there if you are from a certain type of business. So for example, Luxembourg and the Netherlands will offer you 30% of your gains will not be taxed if you move to those countries and you have certain qualifications and you fulfill certain job positions. By the way, you also don't pay capital gains tax in Netherlands, Luxembourg, or Switzerland, for example. Switzerland has some of the lowest income taxes in the world. UAE, Dubai, Abu Dhabi has 0% income tax and 0% capital gains tax. Saudi Arabia the same, Qatar the same. Singapore has very low taxes as well. So my point being, I understand how painful this is, but there are solutions outside. Now, I'm not advocating that you move. I mean, you can stay within the US. You have Puerto Rico with a 0% income tax as well and very low short-term capital gains tax. So maybe, if you guys think that your money is being wasted, not being But the US has that system where they go after you wherever you live in the globe after your taxes. So I really don't know what you can do. Maybe Puerto Rico, which is a US territory, maybe there's something for you there. I don't know. This is not tax advice. I'm just flagging that there are other countries on the planet which don't suffer from these issues. This is also something linked to what I said yesterday, which is even if the US becomes very anti-crypto, the world exists beyond the US and innovation will move elsewhere on the planet. Just the same thing as with taxation. As you guys know, my retirement plan involves the Cayman Islands. If you guys are actually curious about what is my retirement plan, just drop a question or comment in the comment section and I will address it. Now, Bitcoin conference is going to happen between 25th and 27th of July in Nashville, Tennessee. Elon Musk has hinted that he will be there. Michael Saylor will be there. I'm very curious to see, after him for years and years saying that there was no second best and that Ethereum was a security and will never get an ETF. Today Ethereum has its first US spot ETFs trading, so I'm very curious to see what he is going to say. For most people who are unaware, Michael Saylor, the big patron of Bitcoin, he used to say back in 2013 that Bitcoin was going to fail like online gambling and it had no value and it was a scam. After a few years, Bitcoin was the best thing ever created. So this is just to show you that even billionaires and very wealthy people don't understand certain things that maybe you, the pleb, and me, the pleb, sometimes we get ahead of them. Now, what I wanted to say, Ethereum is experiencing a bit of a sell-off. So today the ETFs start trading in the US. Once again, it seems that we are having a bit of a buy the rumor, sell the news event. Surprise, surprise. So we are not exploding to the upside as soon as the ETFs started trading, as somebody here has mentioned. Once again, when people come to you with justifications of why this time is different, of why we're gonna have a buy the rumor, buy the news event for the first time in history, then it happens once again. You know, people are thinking about, oh my God, there's gonna be so much inflows coming into Ethereum, which I believe it's true, by the way, but it's not automatic. Bitcoin also suffered some sell-off for about 7 to 10 days, or 14, no, it was actually 14 days of sell-off until we then ramp up into the sky after that. Will Ethereum take as long? Probably not. Probably it will take 7 days. Why is that? Because we haven't ramped up as much, and because now you have the example of Bitcoin to learn from. But when people were very focused about the net inflows, I also said Grayscale has about 16 billion of Ethereum. And they are charging 2.5% fees, while all the other ETFs are charging 0.25% or less. So I do expect quite the outflows coming from Ethereum from the Grayscale trust. Now, will it be absorbed by the other ETFs and the market itself? I think so, but it will take some time to digest. This is also one of the advantages that Bitcoin has at the moment, which is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust already shredded close to $19 billion in Bitcoin, and it's now down to its 40% remaining holdings. Germany is out. Mt. Gox is now being distributed, and Grayscale has already lost more than half of its holdings. And in my view, it won't lose much more because their point is also to be a player, right? They're not trying to exit the market. They're trying to stay in the market. So a lot of sell-offs are getting taken out, which tells me that a little bit further, there's only going to be buying pressure in that for quite some time. And people also are still not talking about this. I'm the only one that I've seen talking about this. The FTX settlement is agreed. $16 billion are going to be distributed to FTX holders in USDC form. Very important. Not in Bitcoin, in USDC. What happens if half of it gets circulated back into crypto. The entire Mt. Gox Bitcoin is $9.5 billion. FTX is $16 billion USDC. What's going to happen? What's going to happen if Trump goes to the conference and hints that Bitcoin will be part of the US strategic assets? What's going to happen? If that happens, by the way, you need to understand something. The best we can have is the US announcing that Bitcoin will be part of its strategic reserves. Why is that? Because if Trump is elected in November, he only gets to office in January. I seriously doubt that he will go immediately take care of crypto. He will probably do it over the summer when things should be quieter in 2025. If that happens, then it may be added as a strategic reserve asset, if indeed that comes to be confirmed, sometime between September, October, November, August, somewhere around that time period. That, ladies and gentlemen, if that comes to happen, once again, listen to what I said. If, right? So we're still too many ifs away from this, but it's important to start thinking about it. That, ladies and gentlemen, will be your clear top signal. It's going to be as the best that it can. Because the day that they buy, the day that the US buys in that scenario, it's the day that we mark the top. I mean, unless the US says, oh, we're going to buy, I don't know, $1 trillion per year and non-stop buying for months and months ahead, regardless of the price. Yes, if they say something like that, it's basically the top will come as soon as the US doesn't comply with what they're saying. And of course, if the US says this and then half the countries in Europe do the same, and then they're all buying at the same time, regardless of the price, then sure, then you can keep on going for a while. But yeah, I still don't think so. I still think that that's going to be potentially a great time for a top. And the reason why I think that this rumor may have some legs to stand on is because you can see the Bitcoin ETF inflows, net inflows, right? And, you know, BlackRock's ETF was kind of not doing much. Then all of a sudden, it starts buying almost $100 million minimum per day. And now it's ramping up. Now we're seeing $250 million, $300 million. So we're seeing huge amounts being bought by BlackRock as we are going into this conference. Is it possible that they already know what is going to announce beforehand? I mean, there's a rumor also, in case you guys don't know, that Trump is undecided between Jamie Dimon and from JP Morgan and is it Jamie Dimon? I think it's Jamie Dimon and Larry Fink from BlackRock to be his treasurer. So usually, you guys, you need to understand this. BlackRock always knows, is always aware of these things well ahead of time. Now you have an instrument in which you can see what BlackRock is thinking before they do it, before anything is announced, because now you can analyze their buying patterns. Once again, if you actually check the wallets, when Bitcoin was at $18,000, $17,000, $20,000, and basically it was negative news after negative news after negative news, and then all of a sudden, from one week to the other, the news all become positive. All of a sudden, crypto is all back and is all fine, is all blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to check the wallets, and here, BlackRock was accumulating at the bottoms of Bitcoin. And when they decided they have enough, coincidentally, just a coincidence, of course, guys, you need to understand, it's just perfect timing. As soon as they feel that they have enough reserves, then the news all become positive and the price starts to go up. Ta-da! Why do I get the feeling that Ethereum may be a similar conversation? Why do I get the feeling that when some analysis is made, that BlackRock was buying Ethereum very cheaply? And all of a sudden, then the news all become positive. We'll see. By the way, there's another rumor that Gary Gensler will leave the SEC in February 2025. Let's hope that that's indeed the case. Then we remove another imbecile out of the way and another thing that could cause some sort of potential early ending to the cycle. You sit down, you think 2025, unless something happens that make you think otherwise. Now, can the Bitcoin conference accelerate this little slump after the Ethereum ETF start trading because of what Trump may say? Sure. If Trump says, my plan is to add Bitcoin to US strategic reserves, I mean, sure, then the whole market will go up, in my view. Of course. That needs to be understood as well. In my view, I think so. I mean, I'm not telling you to trade on it. I'm not telling you to do, as you guys know, I don't trade. And as I already told you, I think even with the Democrats in power, crypto will do fine. It's just that with Trump, I think it will be on steroids. Just the difference between one and the other is that's my point of view. But you need to understand that maybe, Bitcoin took about 14 days to clear out the buy the rumor, sell the news kind of situation. And then it started to steadily go up. Maybe Ethereum launches on the 23 and by the 27 is already trading very well, or even a bit earlier than that. Maybe we have a 4 or 5 day, maybe we have this week of sell-off. When I say week, is business days, obviously. The ETFs don't trade over the weekends. And maybe we are done once again because we are further ahead in the cycle. Number 2, we already know what to expect based on Bitcoin's experience. Number 3, Ethereum is easier to pump. And number 4, there's a massive event or a massive potential event depending on what Trump says in that conference. As I mentioned, Elon Musk is reportedly attending. Trump is attending and is a speaker. Vivek is going to be there. A few senators will be there. Michael Saylor, Snowden, RFK will be there. So it's good to see that after we were mocked and made fun of, after they called crypto and people, after they called crypto scam and the people in crypto degenerates, gamblers, and criminals, they are now all extremely interested in us. Once again, what did I tell you? The best time to buy certain crypto is when everybody thinks it's a scam, it's garbage, it's going to zero, and it's only owned by degenerates, criminals, and gamblers. Never forget, best time to buy Bitcoin is when nobody wanted it. And with that, thank you very much for your support, guys. I hope to catch you in the next one. Probably I won't record tomorrow, but unless something dramatic happens, but I'll be here on Thursday. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. See you in the next one. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.